Hey everybody, welcome back to PAC Talk. I'm here today. My name is Pete Vodden. This is my delicious wife, Emily Covell.
Hello.
And we wanted to do like a little series on our anchors. Our anchors are basically what sets our business's vision, what kind of like the things that we believe, the tone that we want to set, the environment that we want to create. Everything that makes Pharos a Pharos is basically set in our anchors. We have three main anchors, and we want to go over the first one with you today.
You can kind of think of our anchors. We talk a lot about our non-negotiables, right? So like our bare minimum habits that we do day in and out that try to reinforce the people that we want to be, right? So we always say like the first step in, transformation or habit change or anything is just to get clear on what your non-negotiables are. And so for like a business, it really is the non-negotiables of your company, right? And so these are the like bare minimum expectations that we hold ourselves to as leaders and our staff to, of course, in the service of others and really our entire community. We're a little bit different. It's not just like a hotel where you come in and we serve you. It's like this is a shared experience where we are all taking part in each other's wins and learning from each other and building this community together. And so we wanted to share our anchors with you because if you are a part of the community and you may not know them, then hey, this is what we are secretly upholding you to, right?
Yeah, and as you guys know the old saying, it always starts at the top and trickles down. So if me and Emily aren't upholding these standards, then we can't expect everybody else to uphold them. So this is something we also have to check in with ourselves on, because like, are we living up to our own anchors and are we behaving in a way that reflects our anchors? So this is something for me and Emily to be, that we've been going through these, and I've been writing these things for the PAC Perspective, and it's really allowed me to also check in with it and make sure that I'm upholding the ideals that we're kind of setting up for ourselves. So
what's our first one?
It's show up to build others. Now, this is a super important one, and I always tell this story about. I know we hate to talk about it because everyone has PTSD, but I do talk about the pandemic, not in a. Obviously, it was a bad experience for everybody. It was a terrible time. A lot of people lost a lot of things. But the one thing that we really learned from that time period, and it was a long time period, the whole thing was, a couple of years basically. We were forced outside into the car park. The situation was far less than ideal. It was super hot at times of year. We were outside. We took a bunch of equipment outside, but it was minimal equipment. We took dumbbells and rowers and kettlebells and ski eggs and stuff outside. We did that every day in two different spaces. So it was months. It was a big ordeal. It was a huge hassle. Everyone was going through it. But one of the big takeaways and one of the big lessons that we learned from it is what Pharos is really about, because the fitness side of things is really just a part of the business. A lot of people were coming up to us and saying, thank you. This is the one thing I had to look forward to today. This is the only chance I have to meet people, to communicate with people, to interact with people, and to have any kind of social excitement. So it was a real highlight for us of like, this is what people really come to the gym for. This is what people really need. And we are social creatures. We need to be around other people. And when I saw, certain companies and good for them, but they were, promoting this in-home fitness, this like, you don't need to leave your house. You can cycle your bike in your bedroom. You can work from home. You can do Zoom from your house. Like everything can be here. And I'm like, this is not going to last. This is not going to work for people long-term. People need to be around other people. People were showing up for other people and for themselves to create this kind of fun energy, this supportive community. Everyone was going through it together. Everyone was in the same boat. And it really was, we shared that experience together. And as bad as it was kind of in a way magical to see.
It just reminded us, that it's not the equipment and the space and the build out and all of the fancy things that like we know or what like catch your eye and the glimmer. It really is that hard to define community, that primal tribal thing that everybody needs. And, so we first and foremost always say, show up to build others.
Yeah. So, and that starts from the moment you walk in the Pharos door. As soon as you walk through, we want you to be greeted with a smile, a good morning, and feel like you're in a friendly space. Like
actually, before you do this, can I say what is literally listed on our staff thing? Then you can go into it. So it's like, so what does it mean to show up to build others? Like, what are like the, 4 or 5, whatever tenets, actions that it means? So the first thing is that everyone gets a hello and a what's up. So that is the expectation. Now you may be coming in on your headphones, but rest assured, someone is saying, hi, how's it going? You know, that's the expectation, that every time you come in, that it is a shared experience, that you are not just alone in your own tunnel, that you are looking up into the world and the people around you and sharing the space with you. It means that we uplift the team and the community. So we uplift each other. We're always trying to find ways to praise one another, to, you know, be excited. You know, this is a fun week at Pharos because we're getting up to like, not necessarily 1 rep, but it is like kind of testing the heavy and, you know, kind of brushing up against what that like fun limit is. So it's an exciting energy in the gym because everyone's just like supporting one another, stopping, looking at, you know, the other person set next to them. And it's like a real fun, like team environment. And that is what we want. We want people to be, you know, spotting one another, to be, you know, sharing equipment, sharing time and space and camaraderie with one another, because we know that while the workout is, you know, very important piece of the puzzle, the community and, you know, the people, having the right people in your corner is really what matters. So the third tenet is to make it more about them than it is about you. I always say that to every new coach that's nervous, actually. So every time a coach comes in and they're like, oh, you know, I'm prepared and I'm like, you know, good to go, but I'm a little bit nervous. I always say, trust me, make it more about them than it is about your nerves. And you won't even notice that you're nervous, right? Like just focus on what they need, look at them, see what's in front of you, trust your training, trust that you are prepared, and let those nerves go aside. Because if you focus more on the other person than you are on your own stresses, then all of that kind of falls to the wayside. So make it more about them than it is about you. And be your best self and act despite how you may feel. So we throw this in there because, of course, we are in the customer service industry, and the expectation is that we leave our bad days and bad thoughts and whatever at the door, and that we are coming in to be relentlessly positive and to build y'all up. And that is the purpose of the community. It's not to kind of pull each other down. It's to be like, okay, I'm going to leave this at the door. I'm going to come in and support the people that are here so that they can support me and we can all rise up together. Yeah. So those are kind of the like bullet points, at least in like the employee handbook, and like, you know, when we do reviews and what we like, you know, measure ourselves off of, we always kind of ask those four questions. So yeah,
but just to add to that, you know, it's very healing to give. If you just always take all the time and it's all about you and like what you get out of it and your experience and so forth, that can end up feeling pretty hollow and pretty shallow after a while. If you give,
lonely.
It get lonely, yeah. If you give, you get a lot back. I know it's a cliche. I know it's like something people just say, but it is a real thing. I mean, you know, I've had the experience many times when I've been having a bad day, or me and Emily have been under a lot of stress, and I've gone in to coach my community. I've received their energy. We've had conversations back and forth. We've had banter, and you know, your whole perspective changes, and it's a very healing thing. So, you know, as much as, you know, we're showing up to build others, we are building ourselves in that transaction. Because again, this is the magic of community. This is the energy of a tribe. We're not meant to go through this journey on our own. We're meant to go through it together, as communities, as social creatures, and we're meant to share these moments and share positivity. You know, we always say, you know, the environment that we create has a huge effect on your actual workout. You know, if you've ever gone into a gym and it's kind of like just dead and there's no real atmosphere, it's very hard to like motivate yourself to get a great workout. Whereas if you walk into an energized space where everyone's giving you a high five and everyone's like happy to see you and you're happy to see them, my God, you're much more likely to get a great workout out of it.
And enjoy it and come back and then be more consistent and then actually get results. And like, that's the magic. That's the formula, you know, find something you like doing with people you like doing it with, that you enjoy, to be able to find the consistency enough that then after a while you're like, oh, wow, I got results. And then, you know, that really is kind of the formula for success. People usually miss one of those key things and end up in that kind of cycle of just, you know.
Yeah, so imagine, you know, you walk in, you get a smile, you get a high five, you go into the gym, you meet your coach, they give you a high five, you meet 5 people that you know, you meet 5 people that you don't know, everyone's happy to see you, everyone's there for the same kind of experience. You know, you start working out, you warm up, you have some conversations, you have a little bit of back and forth, then you get down to your strength piece, everyone's cheering you on to get the best performance possible, then you're moving on to your kind of workout at the end, which is high octane, high energy, and everyone's like working for each other and their energies are bouncing off each other, and then at the end of it...
That's a teamwork. That's like the power of the championship, you know?
And then you're done and you're all exhausted and you all say congratulations, have a high five, thank the coach, thank each other. Boom. Like that's the gym. That's the way it should feel. That's the way it should be. And that's what we mean by show up to build others. It really is, how do we create a cauldron of energy? How do we create a cauldron of good vibes, good habits, good treatment of one another? And it really be a place where we can all come from different backgrounds. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter once you're on the gym floor.
Yeah, that's right. You always say like the person who's worked out for 5 minutes can work out next to a person who's worked out for 5 years and 50 years, and they all get a great workout and they're all getting their own thing, but they're all feeding off each other, and that's the point.
Yeah, it's the currency of effort. The currency of effort is more valuable than the currency of experience. It's like, it doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter what you've done in the past. All that matters is what you're doing in that moment, how hard you're working, and how much you're trying to help the person next to you get through it. That is kind of a magical thing.
And sometimes you're helping them just by being there, right? I always go back to showing up as 90%, just having others communally suffering with you, right? Going through, doing hard things together. It empowers you that you can do it, right? It reinforces that you're like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it,
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, of course we value doing hard things. This isn't like we're not meeting up and having a tea party.
No, we do that too.
We do too. We're meeting up to do super hard things, to really push ourselves, really get the best out of ourselves. And it's very hard to do that on your own. I've seen it done. There are people of a certain mindset that can do that. I'm not one of them. I thrive when I'm amongst my peers and amongst people that I love and respect. And I feel like
that both push us, and also that we can push, right? That we can pay it forward and help others, but also surround ourselves with people who, help bring us up too.
And hold us accountable.
Totally.
Like, it's, I always joke, like the reason I always jump into class whenever I'm there is because I get more work done in 1 hour at Pharos Athletic Club in a class than I do it in 3 hours on my own.
I can account for this.
It's really hard to be accountable to a clock and to time, and to not give yourself more breaks, and to push yourself in the same way when you're on your own.
And to film half your workout.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real experience. We've seen it so many times. We've been doing this for a long time, a number of years now, and it's an undefined. It's almost like an undefinable quantity, right? Because you can write on a piece of paper the workout, and I can look at that piece of paper and be like, this looks like a great workout. Now, the difference between me doing that workout on my own or me doing that workout with 5 other people is unquantifiable on the page. But in action, in reality, when you're going through it, it's a world of difference. It's a world of difference. Mm-hmm. Now, that can also be true in the base. It's not just class. Even if you're in the base and you're around other people who are like, treating you in that way and all uplifting each other and still giving you a hello and still smiling and still not being a dick. This is a big part of it. We always wanted to build a gym where people...
We almost put that on there.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Didn't want to be around assholes. You want to be around other good people who want the best for you. They want you to succeed. You want them to succeed. There's no winners and losers here. Everyone's on the same team. Everyone's trying to pick each other up and get something good out of being in the gym, and just understanding and know that no one is looking at you and thinking, what are they doing? Or no one's laughing at you. Everyone wants you to do well, and you want everyone to do well. And that's what we want to build at Pharos Athletic Club. And that's what showing up to build others really means.
Boom. All right, tune in. We got 2 more. We'll release them next. We're not even going to tease them, all right? Just tune into the next ones. You'll see what they are.
All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll catch you real soon. Come see us at our gyms. We've got our Pharos Athletic Club in Palm Springs, which is now open. It's an amazing, incredible gym. I really want you guys to see it. Even if you're just visiting for a weekend or a week or whatever it is, feel free to drop in. Feel free to just come and check it out. We'd love to see you there. It's awesome. Of course, Echo Park, our original baby. That's still going strong.
Our flagship, baby.
Yeah, Glendale Boulevard and Sunset. Fantastic facility. Our beach location in Redondo in the South Bay, fantastic gym, fantastic community. Beach, surf, volleyball, gym, go to bowl, get coffee. It's a really great day out if you're just visiting the South Bay, or if you live there. It really is a fantastic gym. Please check it out. And then, of course, if you're in the mountains, if you want to come see us in Idlewild, awesome gym up here, a little mountain gym, a little mountain mecca, a little Garden of Gains. We love it. I know you guys are going to love it too, so please come and see us. Follow us on Instagram at Pharos Echo Park, at Pharos Redondo, at Pharos Idlewild, at Pharos Palm Springs.
And the big call to action that you are forgetting, that you begged me for all morning, I have to just say this.
Yeah.
You begged me and then forgets. The biggest call to action that you can do right now is to go into the show notes. We have a subscription to the weekly PAC newsletter. This entire podcast is actually based off the PAC newsletter. Pete has been writing these kind of, weekly notes to our members, to our community, some, long form Sunday afternoon reading. If you, we actually send it on Wednesdays, but neither here nor there. And this entire series is really built off of that. So if you're interested in hearing more from Pete in long form written content, then go to the show notes and subscribe to the PAC Perspective.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.